Hello everyone, this is Lee with Lee's Trees. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Today we're going to do a little bit of work on our Korean Hornbeam. We got this tree a few months ago. This is the front of the tree at the moment. To the left side, to the back, to the right side of the tree, and back to the front. I plan to do a little bit of a trim and try to do an air layer on this upper section here. And as you can see, I'll zoom in some and hopefully you'll be able to see that it's getting to where the leaves are just starting to bud out. So I think this is the perfect time to put the air layer on. So I'm going to set up for that and we'll be back in just a moment. All right. So I've brought you in close here to get started on our prune, a tiny bit of a prune and the air layer. And I know that this branch is going to be in the way. And I'm trying to look, I can see there's like a one spot where there's a little bit of a stub there. Maybe there's a little bit of a stub here. So just in case, I'll leave a little bit of a stub for dieback. I don't know Korean hornbeams. I've never really trimmed or pruned this tree before. I said when I bought it last year, I simply just watered it and put it on the bench because it wasn't time to do anything with it. This tree, this branch I know is going to be in the way of the air layer. And because I'm going to be putting the air layer right in this area, I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to take it all the way back to there. There's one on the back side that's also going to be in the way, but I think I'm going to leave a stub on it as well, just in case. I will go ahead and take a quick moment and put a little bit of rubber cement on those couple of spots right there. Now one in the back, and one right there in the front. Now there's a, I'm not sure if you can, nope. There's a crazy branch up here going a wild direction, but there's a tiny little piece underneath of it. So I'm going to take this one off and let that grow. I'm not going to worry with that at the moment. Actually, just in case, I might take it off. And it's so small, I don't think I'm going to worry with leaving a stub for a dieback on it. And this branch down here isn't part of the main design. The purpose the reason why I bought this tree was this windswept pattern here. I'll show you, we'll try the Peter Chan trick here. You can see the wind sweeping section. So I'm going to go ahead and take this branch and we'll leave a stub on it. Maybe because it's thicker, we'll leave a little bit more of a stub. Take that off. And get some rubber cement for that. So now for my air layer, right in here. Maybe I want to put it down a little lower. Maybe I will try to take this down a little bit more here. Just in case. And put a little more rubber cement on it. Oh, actually I've got some on that finger. And I saw on Amazon, so I picked up a few of these little air layer pods for about $5. I got a few of these smaller ones and a few bigger ones. And that looks like it'll go around there just right. There is a smaller and a larger end, and I'm going to put the larger end up to catch any rainwater or as I water it to keep the sphagnum moss moist. So let me just measure. Actually, I think, yeah, right there. So I want to cut between here and up here. Okay. Trying to just carefully cut into the bark here. And I'll leave a little bit there. And that might look like quite a bit of a distance. I know Normally when they say you're doing an air layer, you leave an area similar to the thickness of the branch, and that's almost twice that. But I was reading online of people that have tried to air layer Korean hornbeams before, and they have a problem with them bridging over the gap. Of course, you can see I'm trying to be really, really careful with the razor knife there, not to cut myself. So let's see, I think that's one mark there. And come down to there. Oh, maybe I haven't cut deep enough. Of course, I don't want to cut too deep because we don't want to cut all the way through. We just want to get to that cambium layer. I wonder if maybe if I was to gently, again, I don't want to crush it. I want to try to peel that away. So I need to be careful I don't go too low. I may end up just having to do that, is just trying to carve it all the way to get down, to get expose the wood there so that it doesn't, you know, scar over, scab over, or bridge. So if you've ever tried to air layer a Korean hornbeam, let me know. Was it this difficult for you? And I want to make sure I get as much of that cambium layer off so it doesn't bridge over and it actually starts to grow roots. So that looks like it's got quite a bit of it right there. Let's get our rooting hormone here. We've got our rooting hormone. We're going to apply very carefully. Make sure we get all the way around. There we go. And I say I've got some pre-moistened sphagnum moss put in my little air layer pod. I am going to take a moment and add a little bit of rooting hormone to the sphagnum moss. Just give that a tiny little tap there. Not using my fingers, I'm using something else. I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just using a little tool here to push the rooting hormone into the moss there to make it, since it's damp, to keep it on there. So let's put our little pot on there, and it's got a little plastic piece that's supposed to snap over to hold it shut. That doesn't seem to want to. Oh, there it goes. I was trying to take it the wrong way. All right, now just in case, I am going to take a tiny piece of wire, and it's got little holes in it. I'm just going to feed a tiny piece of wire and tie it up just to make sure it stays closed. So there's our air layer on our Korean hornbeam. Now there is a couple of little spots here that I want to take care of. There's a, oop, hit my bench. There's a tiny little branch going the wrong direction down here that's going against the windswept. There's a little one in the back, or there's actually two little ones in the back here going the opposite direction. I've got one going the wrong way here. And this one's sort of curling back. But other than that, I think everything else is going the way I want it to. Actually, there's a couple going straight up right there. But other than that, eventually I will try to put a tiny bit of wire on these, maybe in a year or two. I'm not going to worry with them right now. They're really small. They can be moved easily. But in the meantime, like I said, we're going to put this back out on the bench, keep it watered, and in about 6 or 8 months, we'll see if we have any roots. Probably we'll wait until next year before we actually remove that from the parent plant here. Anyway, this is our Korean hornbeam performing our air layer and a couple tiny little trims there. Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining me. This is Lee with Lee's Trees, and today we're going to do a late pinch or early trim on the Korean hornbeam. You can see where I added the air layer in the previous video, and this is the front of the tree. To the right side, to the back, to the left side, and back to the front. I'm not going to do anything with the air layer today. Like I said, I just intend on doing a quick trim and prune. So I'm going to bring this a little closer to me so I can reach it better. So let's start on the air layer, and we're going to just take it back to 2 or 3 leaves on each branch and get some better ramification. Now I can see there's one little spot here that I won't need. That's going against my windswept portion of this part of the tree. But we'll come up in here and find 2 or 3 leaves and give it a cut. Give it a cut. And just do this all the way around the tree. I'll go into fast forward, high speed motion here. You don't need to watch this in slow motion. You've seen a lot of people trim trees before. Alright, there you have it. A quick look at the trim on the Korean hornbeam. I'll adjust or move the camera a little bit and show you what we cut off of it. Do one last spin here at the front, the right side, to the back, to the left side, and back to the front. I'm going to wait a few more months before I even think about doing anything with the air layer. And today is Sunday, June 21st. Again, here's the front of our Korean Hornbeam. To the right side, to the back, to the left side, back to the front. Even though it's been 3 months since we applied our air layer, we're not going to check it or touch it. We're going to give it another few months. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.